What's your favorite? Be like, I'm dying.
If some guy came up to me and said, "Hey, big eyes," I'm like, "It's over and done. We're married now."
Someone in movies where I'm like, kiss. But
oh God, what a sea of humanity.
That was laggy as hell. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah. Come on, Twitch.
Come on, Twitch. Get your Twitch together, man. Welcome in, everybody. This is my I don't even know what's going on. Welcome into 52/1994. We're a live movie conversation podcast where we're talking about 52 movies from the year 1994. And today we're talking about a big one. We're talking about Pulp Fiction today. If you're new and joining us for the first time, welcome in. I see we have a new person that's commenting in the chat with some hot takes. So welcome in. We accept all people to come in here as long as you're not a dick. That's all that. Those are my only requirements to be in this, is to just don't be a dick. It's easy enough.
And man, to answer the GIMP mask question, it's at the cleaners. You gotta clean that thing every now and then. It kind of smells like breath after a while. So gotta get it clean.
It smells like what?
Smells like breath.
Oh, I thought you said breasts.
Smells like breasts.
I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you could complain about that, but yeah. Well, oh my God, the wig! It's the wig. It threw everybody off.
Oh man, a gag ball.
Should I get one? Should I get the GIMP suit? I've got one. Anyway, we're watching movies from the year 1994. Important movies released this year by monthly categories. Currently, in the month of March, we have been doing Oscar-nominated movies, or the Best Picture-nominated movies, and we're doing our fourth one today with Pulp Fiction. And then I have my guest host on, Steven, to kind of give us some other viewpoints or things, and have a conversation with him, and then have a conversation with chat, and all this fun stuff. This wig really threw me off for the.
Can I know the like why do you have that? Why is it just like, is it from is it leftover from something?
Oh, I bought this specifically for this. No, I didn't do that. Alyssa had this wig because she went as Uma Thurman's character Mia from Pulp Fiction for a Halloween costume, and she said, "Hey, put this wig on," and I said, "Sure, why not? I have no shame."
I told Natalia earlier, I was like, I wish I had like a black suit with a bolo tie.
Yeah,
man, I gotta start making more investments in my costumes.
I think we should all be wearing like just black suits and investing in looking good all the time. When we go out for groceries, we need to be wearing suits.
Man, Mad Men style?
Mad Men style, yeah.
Okay.
Except without all the misogyny and stuff. I mean, unless you're into that, and then we can do that.
We're going to start golfing and wearing suits.
Exactly. I think that's what we need to do. Somebody's got a Band-Aid on the back of their head right now. I love it. Mm-hmm. All right. So, Steven, welcome in. Thank you for doing this with me and joining me for this. Steven has a history with this movie, and we have a history with this movie because last year we did a ranking of the Tarantino films, and some people don't really like our rankings of the films, and they can suck it because we thought about it. We went in with objective details that we got from, we really broke it down. It was real scientific and everything. So if you want to get mad at us for our rankings, you can go back and listen to that. That's available on Spotify if you're really interested.
I don't know that the three of us were super happy with it because it was so scientific,
Mhm.
because it was a point-based, objective culmination of our feelings towards the movie. I don't know that I was thrilled with the list either. I don't know that Joseph was. I don't know. I know you weren't happy about where Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
I
was.
wasn't happy about that, but that's not everybody's bag, and
So
that's
we're back.
okay.
We're back to Pulp Fiction.
So we're back to Pulp Fiction, our fourth Best Picture nominee from 1994. Um, we'll start with you've seen this movie before. What memories do you have with this film specifically?
Ooh, yeah. I would say this is one of those ones that the first time I saw it, I mainly remembered Zed from the film. It was very scarring experience because nobody warned me the first time I was watching Paul. I was more in it for the dancing with John Travolta and Uma Thurman, and then there's this whole other story that I didn't really know about. So I think it's it definitely is part of why the police scare me, because Zed's wearing a police officer uniform, right? And I've always thought that maybe they would get me like that. Maybe I'd be locked in a basement with a ball gag because of that. But I also remember it being one of the first movies that I saw that was shuffled. And fix your wig, bro.
No wonder girls have bangs. They don't want to show off this big ass forehead they got.
But yeah, one of the first movies I saw that was like scrambled around as well.
Oh yeah.
Structure goes and storytelling. So, what about you, Mr.
This wig is fucking with me. I'm looking like Tina from Bob's Burgers. You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong, man. I'm gonna start throwing it back like her in a second. No, I think I agree with you. I think one of the first movies that I saw where it was kind of like mixed around. The stories didn't line up, weren't linear, and so to speak, I guess. But yeah, also the dancing scene. I don't remember Zed as much, and that's honestly like the boxing story, the Butch story is. I mean, I think this is a great movie, regardless. But I think that's my least favorite story out of all of them.
Me
If
too.
we were
I
to
think
rank
it's
them,
probably most people's, right?
yeah, so I think that's my least favorite story out of it. So I don't ever think about that whenever I think about it. I think of John Travolta. I think about the heroin scene. I think of the scene in the apartment with Jules and Vincent. Like that's what in the diner scene. Like I think of that, and I don't so much as think. I like it's often it's an afterthought. The Bruce Willis section. Not that it's bad. Just like not my go-to memories when I think of this film.
Yeah.
And again, like all these other movies, I saw this way too young. I shouldn't have seen this movie at the age that I probably did, which was probably in junior high. I would suspect.
I don't think that I saw it until college, and I still didn't feel ready for it.
Yeah.
I think only on like the TV show HBO Oz had I seen some of the things I experienced in this movie. So yeah, it was intense. I remember it was a big experience for me because it was one of those movies that was like, oh, it doesn't have to go in order. I mean that, and some of my favorites have been that way since. So
Yeah, I agree with you. So let's get into it. We've got some areas to cover here, and I know it's a big movie. We've got a lot of people that have seen this movie, probably want to talk about this movie. So let's go ahead and knock out these details and then get into our discussion. So Pulp Fiction was released October 14th, 1994, directed by Quentin Tarantino. It was written by Quentin Tarantino and his best friend, Roger Avery. The cast includes a lot of stars here. John Travolta as Vincent Vega, Sam Jackson as Jules Winfield, Winfield, Uma Thurman as Mia Wallace, Ving Rhames as Marcellus Wallace, Harvey Keitel as Winston Wolfe, Tim Roth as Ringo or Pumpkin, Amanda Plummer as Yolanda or Honey Bunny, Bruce Willis as Butch, Eric Stoltz as Lance, Rosanna Arquette as Jody, Christopher Walken has a kind of a cameo in here as Captain Coons, and there's some other people, but they're not as big of names as the ones that I just listed. The synopsis that I pulled from Google, I've never read these until this moment. I just copy and paste. Here we go. Vincent Vega and Jules Winfield are hitmen with a penchant for philosophical discussions. In this ultra-hip, multi-strand crime movie, their storyline is interwoven with those of their boss gangster, Marcellus Wallace, his actress wife, Mia, struggling boxer, Butch, and master fixer, Winston. And a nervous pair of armed robbers, Pumpkin and Honey Bunny. Doesn't really tell you that much about it, synopsis-wise, but yeah, it's a multi-strand crime movie. This movie had a low budget, $8.5 million, and a box office return of $213.9 million. So heck of a return there for Quentin Tarantino on his second film. Rotten Tomatoes score gives it 92%. IMDb is 8.9 out of 10, and Letterboxd is sitting at a 4.3. Couple reviews for you. This movie is like an excursion through the lurid images that lie wound up and trapped inside all those boxes on the Blockbuster shelves. R.I.P. Blockbuster. Tarantino once described the old pulp mags as cheap, disposable entertainment that you could take to work with you and roll up and stick in your back pocket. Yeah, and not be able to wait until lunch so you could start reading them again. Roger Ebert gave it a 4 out of 4. And then Bob Finster of the Arizona Republic said that despite over-the-top comic performances by John Travolta and Sam Jackson as talk-crazed assassins, Pulp Fiction is garbage pretending to be art. Wow. That's a big one. This movie was nominated for several awards, including Best Picture. It was nominated for Best Director, Best Actor for John Travolta, Best Supporting Actor for Samuel L. Jackson, Best Supporting Actress for Uma Thurman, Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, and Best Original Screenplay, which Quentin Tarantino won with his partner Roger Avery. So there you go. And I think that legacy-wise, this movie does go on to create. You see more of this non-linear time or storytelling. He's not original. He didn't come up with it. Tarantino didn't come up with it, but he certainly elevated this. And I think more and more movies kind of went this direction. And
they just won for the screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only award after being nominated for all that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's kind of crazy. What do you know? What won in the awards big this year?
Yeah. So Forrest Gump got Best Picture, Best Picture, Best Actor, and I can't remember who got the actress and supporting actress of this year.
It wasn't Sally Fields, was it? From Forrest Gump?
It wasn't Sally Field.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was just curious. I mean, we just did Forrest Gump. Was it 2 weeks ago? Last week?
Yeah. Best Director went to the Forrest Gump director as well. Not Woody Allen, Robert Zemeckis. And
there he is.
There. I'm back. Cody, where have you been?
I thought I was talking to.
What is going? What is this? What is this part?
It's great, man. This would have been great hair for the Ace Ventura episode.
This is why people have to watch the video so they can get all this good stuff. But other movies that won, Martin Landau won for Best Supporting Actor for Ed Wood. Diane Wiest won for Bullets Over Broadway for Best Supporting Actress, and Best Actress went to Jessica Lange for Blue Sky. So not like the strong, like this easily could have swept, I think, at the Oscars. So I don't know. Oh yeah, and if you're Googling 1994 Oscars, That will be for the year 1993, and then 1995 Oscars will be for 1994. So that's how you have to look at the Oscars whenever you're doing this. Okay, I'm back. All right, so let's break this movie down after all this silliness and everything. Let's break it down into what our favorite scenes were that really make the movie. And Steven and I kind of talked about this before we got on, but like, there's not like a lot of scenes that you can take out of context that are that aren't just all stories. Everything is set in like 5 different, stories in this, or however many stories you want to see. So yeah, so we'll start with that. Steven, if you want to go ahead and start with your first one, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah, what we talked about earlier, like there's just so many scenes that are necessary. I would argue that most everything is necessary. I think that on this most recent watch, there may be a character that's less necessary than I have thought she was in the past. But when it comes down to favorite scenes, I wrote down a fair amount of scenes, but I'm going to try to stick to just my favorites. So if we hop over, this is a robbery scene. The Royale with cheese is my first favorite scene. I feel like this is when we first get introduced to how good. I mean, the dialogue's good in the diner with Honey Bunny and Pumpkin, but I feel like when we get to John Travolta and Samuel L. Riding in the car talking about Vincent's time in Amsterdam and in Europe, that's when we get introduced to just how strong the dialogue in this movie is. That they're just they're on the way to a hit. They're on the way to kill people,
and they're very casual. Yeah, and they're talking about
man. This is when you get just Tarantino to me at his finest.
But you think about it, like, okay, if you and I are riding to our job, what are we going to be talking about? Some dumb shit that we talked about before. So this is just another thing for them. Like, this is just, hey, what did you do in Europe?
So well done. Like the chat to my wonderful wife says, iconic. The Royale with cheese is what I called this scene. With them riding, headed to Brett's house. Yeah, that's my first favorite.
I agree with you. I think that the best parts of this film are the Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson parts. I love, like, I could have spent an entire movie with Vincent and Jules.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And would have been completely happy. I don't know. Many people might know this, but like, I love Samuel L. Jackson. I think he is so good, and like, he's kind of become a meme of himself at oftentimes. You watch like Snakes on a Plane or something like, but then you watch like Pulp Fiction or Jackie Brown. I know it's not your favorite, but him in these movies, Jackie Brown or Django Unchained, he is like on another level.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like he gets enough credit. And this is the only time he's ever been nominated for an Oscar, which is crazy to me. Because I think he is so good. And then Travolta's good too.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, they're just so cool. I don't know any other way of describing them.
I think, I have something that I want to bring up that I was going to try to save, but I found, have you seen this list of who they wanted to cast?
So the like the handwritten list of yeah, it's in my facts that I have.
You've seen that, and so to me that amplifies the way, like, when you see those lists of who they had for Jules and who they had for Vincent, and that Travolta wasn't even the first choice, like strong second choice, I'm pretty sure is what it says by his name, and the fact that the two of them. I completely agree with you. I could take a whole movie of just the chemistry between them as Vincent and Jules is similar, to like, I would say like in my world of comedy, like the way that Seth Rogen and James Franco kind of click, the way, but that makes sense. They're friends. They work together. They've
Mhm.
known each other. This seems like an oddball couple that just works perfectly. So yeah, I completely agree that it was kind of magical that those two got cast for it. And
Yeah. I think originally he wanted Michael Madsen for the role of Vincent. Michael Madsen is most famous for being Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs, the guy that cuts off the cop's ear, the crazy one. He wanted him for this role, and it says Lawrence Fishburne was his first choice for Jules,
oh, okay.
which would have been interesting, cool.
Yeah, Larry Fishburne.
Larry Fishburne, yeah.
And so the fact that and Eddie Murphy's under Sam L's name
Mhm.
as well, which you just think about what a different movie you get with some of these other people, but with John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, which are they ever in any, it'd be interesting to know.
John Travolta didn't do any other movies with Tarantino, but I don't know if they were ever in any movies together.
Yeah, maybe the chat can look for us on that.
Yeah, research that.
I think as a writer that I may have tried to write something similar for the two of them and try to cast them in something else because chemistry was 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And I think John Travolta is so his character's an interesting one. He comes off very cool. He also comes off very dumb, as we see in some of the other scenes. And you genuinely get sad, I think, whenever Butch kills him.
Yeah.
In later scenes, I'm genuinely bummed. I'm oh, but I think Tarantino realizes, hey, that Travolta is kind of the heart or main person in this, and then we get to see Vincent again in the last story that makes up the end. So I do love that. But yeah, I love them going to work together. I think them going up to the apartment, to Brett's apartment, that whole scene in the hallway where they're talking about foot massages. I've got some good quotes in there about that.
Yeah.
It says Basic. The movie in 2003 is the only other time that John Travolta and Samuel L. have been in a movie together.
Just because those two were in another movie. So
yeah,
in that one.
Yeah. We're gonna watch that one. But I love when they actually get into the apartment with Brett.
Yeah.
Because that's where I think Samuel L. shot. I mean, because Travolta kind of disappears, honestly.
Yeah.
He goes to the kitchen area, and then it is
smoking
just
a cigarette.
No, Joseph's coming in here with his Butch talk, and I don't even want to talk about it. He was a dick to Butch for no reason at the bar.
They were dicks to each other.
I think that there's probably some background or something to where he doesn't like him. Who knows? We'll never know. That's what I choose to believe. That Butch was a dick to him at some point. That's what I'm saying. I'm going with that.
They're kind of dicks to each other, man.
When two dicks come at each other.
Two alphas, man. Two alphas just...
It's like beta fish. You have to have uneven numbers of them.
One will kill the other.
Yeah, the other one's just going to kill the other one.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
All
right. So okay, keep talking about this. I feel like I took over there a little bit, but
so man, honestly, I've got 3 or 4 things. That the speech by Samuel L. is iconic. Before they shoot Brett. Then we've got a magical moment that we'll talk about later. It's worth mentioning that the briefcase is acquired from Brett and his friends. I think that's what Vincent is up to in the kitchen, right? He's smoking a cigarette, and then he pulls it out, and that's when we first get the first
we get that golden glow from that we don't know what he's got in there.
The briefcase, yeah. So yeah, briefcase acquired, and then we've got Butch and Vince bumping heads in the bar. But I don't know that I agree with Joseph. Like, to me, it was Butch was when he said that, I was like, wait a second. I think Butch was a bigger dick than Vince was in that situation. I think Butch is. I have to maybe go back and revisit that, but I think Butch was the bigger dick. I wish Vincent would have got to kill Butch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better move. But,
I'm so anti Bruce Willis. I don't know why. He's good in this movie. I don't know why I'm so anti him.
But then my second favorite scene is what I got is Vincent and Mia, which is big. It's a big long one.
Yeah.
And I've got in parentheses drugs, $5 milkshake, dancing, overdose.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why this scene's like iconic. Is like he picks up this heroin, she's already at home doing cocaine, and then he comes over to pick her up. Scared. He got to be scared because he's heard like this other guy got thrown out a window over this lady.
Mm-hmm.
Now she's talking all sexy over the intercom, right? Bad start. That was on this watch through, when she started talking over the intercom that way, I was like, man, not fair. Like from the get-go, she's being, I get you to make yourself a drink, Vincent.
Also, I want to point out that some of the dialogue between her and Vincent is nonsense.
Yeah.
Like nobody talks like that. Now they get away with it because it's about the I don't know how cool this is.
Kind of like super stylized.
Yeah, she's talking gibberish, man. Like, just talk to me.
But I love the things that like the square and then the goddamn. Like some of it's silly for sure, but I enjoy it.
Like when she's telling him where the intercom system is in the house, and she goes disco, like when he instead of bingo or something.
Yeah,
it's disco. I don't know. Like it's the silliest dialogue. It works in the movie though.
It works.
You think that they are speaking this language, this much cooler language, than what exists. Like nobody actually talks like that. I was watching I was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is completely off topic, but I was watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and like even in the late 90s when that came out, those teenagers are speaking some language that nobody ever used in real life. It's very similar to this, and like Tarantino, like they're just coming up with stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, it's cool to say 5x5 instead of that's cool. You say, 5x5 or razor or whatever. Like these people are just making up fucking language that doesn't make any sense.
But that's how language evolves, man. People get weird with it, and next thing you know, everybody's like, "Holla back, girl."
Yeah, that's where we get Riz. That's where we get any slang terms that we have. For like,
but anyway, one thing that me and Natalia on this watch through thought about is like, man, it'd be cool, and there probably is, maybe the chat can help out with this too, if there's a restaurant like that somewhere that you can go to. Like that seems like a Vegas type thing. But man, that'd be cool to go to a restaurant like that where they had like people performing old songs.
Mm-hmm.
And like Marilyn Monroe serving and Buddy Holly serving.
Yeah, it does seem very Vegas themed, but we have some bars in the area here that are themed bars, and like we have a Shining bar that is right down the street from me based on the movie The Shining. And my biggest complaint about that place was that they never committed to it. It was just like, okay, you decorated some stuff and you threw The Shining up on the TV, but you didn't make it like, I need stuff that would be like, I want it to look like I'm in the movie.
Ooh, man, I like this question from Spencer. Good question, Spencer. Who would you want to be served by? Oh, man, probably Marilyn Monroe. She's her, right?
No Audrey?
Yeah, I mean, I like Audrey, but man, Marilyn Monroe was different. You know, Audrey
Mhm.
she's like what led to what skinny models. You know, like Marilyn Monroe was, yeah, Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, that's who I want.
Yeah. I just want Steve Buscemi being Steve Buscemi.
Oh yeah, I did forget to mention that Steve Buscemi
Yeah, the
plays
waiter.
Buddy Holly in this.
Yeah, the waiter as Buddy Holly. Yeah, just a little cameo.
Yeah, just a little cameo, just a little fun. There's a lot of people. I mean, you saw like Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis in the background. He was talking about Mamie Van Doren. You had what's his face, the late night talk show host. I can't even remember what his name is now. It's leaving me. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff
I
that you
don't
can.
want to say. I want. I hesitate to say this because I don't want to like a trend, but like a Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
A Dolly Parton would be cool.
the dude loves him some blondes with big old pajamas.
I knew you were gonna say it if I said her. Too.
Ed McMahon, or Ed McMahon, is that who it is? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Ed Sullivan. That's it. That's
Ed
it.
Sullivan.
Ed Sullivan. That's who
There
it was.
we
All right.
go. We
Wow.
got there.
We got there.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I want Jimmy Stewart to serve me, but I want him in a wheelchair, like in Rear Window, and I want him rolling up to my table and serving me that way. That's my personal request, but whatever. Coffee Lover had it right. Good old Coffee Lover. Rest in peace.
Coffee lover.
No, I think that while I was talking about Jules and Vincent as being like my favorite parts of it, this is just like close second to me. Like this whole turn of events, her ODing on the. So okay, I don't know anything, and this is for anybody. So she snorted heroin, correct?
Yes.
And it's not. Could you snort? Is snorting heroin possible, or is it the amount of heroin that she snorted just too much? Because she thought, oh, it's like Coke. I could just snort a whole lot of this.
Yeah. So Vincent, when he's at the guy's house, he buys a lot. Because, like, as you can imagine, with a powder, as you melt it down, they show the spoon. Like, it's a pretty small amount, and he only puts a little bit in the needle, even.
I paid a lot more attention this time to the amount of drugs because I was like, I think it's the amount that she snorted.
Bro, she laid out another line that she didn't make it to.
She
was gonna do another one until she found out that was not cocaine. You can snort it for sure. But yeah, it was, you think about like Vincent, an experienced heroin addict, obviously, right? This is not his first time buying heroin at this guy's house, is doing a little bit of powder that he turns into liquid, puts in a needle, puts in his arm. She goes like through 10, 20 times that much and is not a heroin user.
Yeah.
That's a recipe for, yeah.
He dropped $1,500 in 1994 dollars. What is that? I need a calculation. Get him.
15 grand. I mean, you could basically add a zero.
I mean, I don't know anything, but yeah. And the guy said, somebody said, Natty Madge says that the dealer says that it's really good stuff. Like, and you don't need that much. So you're even set early. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that I understood, because when I first thought, when I was younger, I was like, oh, she just thought that was cocaine and you can't snort heroin. I did not know that you could. That's what she gets for dipping into someone's stash without asking. Jeez. We got a troll in the chat.
Oh my! You have to take away his moderator.
No, I'm gonna have to give it to somebody else. $3,135 worth of heroin. So
yeah, double.
Not bad. This movie, I think
that's a lot of heroin. That is. You know, the way it even what's crazy is him being like, if I like it, I'm gonna come back with another 1,000.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, are you saving up for the next couple of years? Like she did a lot. And you know, the nose only is okay with certain things. Like, and that's what I think they've done to most medicines and stuff that people were snorting. They've added something to it to make it very unpleasant. So in a similar way, heroin is not meant for your nose, you know, like it's going to be ouchy. Like the reason she starts bleeding immediately is because it's different than other things. Yeah.
So if you don't get anything out of today's thing, don't snort heroin up your nose. It could lead to something bad. Could.
Don't do heroin at all. Let's just all stay away from heroin together. Team effort.
I didn't just wear the wig, I'll tell you that.
You're shooting up before the stream.
Somebody tie me off, bro.
Yeah.
No,
I think I'd be able to tell, by the way.
Now?
I think I'd be able to tell, by the way. Even if you did cocaine or heroin and you came on the stream, I think I would be able to tell one way or the other, because you would be either very chatty or you'd be half dead. So
yeah, I'm just a cool one, you know.
Cool one right in the middle, man.
I'm cool. Like I just did a little bit, just
What's
a
up,
taste,
Liam?
just a little taste. We got Liam in here. He's a follower from way back who's been waiting on freaking Pulp Fiction to come in here. So welcome back, Liam. Sir Garlet, where's the spoon? I can't show you the spoon, man. I can't show that kind of stuff
We'll get kicked off, man.
We'll get kicked off. We can't have drugs on stream. But this leads to John Travolta going to the house, to Lance's house, wrecking his Malibu into their house, which I think is very funny.
Man, I know we can't go through every scene, but I love Lance's fucking plea. Just don't bring her. Like as soon as he realizes what's up, it's just like don't.
I love that he's like, "Are you calling me on your cell phone?" Prank call. Eric Stoltz is great in the 10 minutes he's in this movie. Good. It's great. I love this scene. It's very frantic. Uma Thurman's dying on the floor. You've got the girl in the background that's just smoking weed, who's just not doing anything
the whole time.
We've
got the girlfriend that's just pissed that she.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. It's 1 a.m. Like, I don't want a dead girl on my carpet, and at 1 a.m, let alone any time of day. But no, this one's so intense, and you get the thud when he hits her with the adrenaline shot. One of my favorite parts of this entire movie is when Eric Stoltz is going. He's like, you gotta go through that breast. You gotta stab her. He's like, so I stab her 3 times. He's like, no, you don't stab her. That's
3 times. My number one quote that I have written down. So I have to stab her 3 times.
Yeah, that was on my list too. God, I freaking die. Yeah. I die at that moment. It's so good. And then he also says like, "Oh, say something, say something." She goes, "Something." But I love
man. They did such a shout out to the makeup and design department because she looks like she's overdosed from that point on. Like she looks pretty much dead in the face. Like when they're saying goodbye to each other, she is a zombie.
Yeah.
Which as she should be.
I feel like that's what I look now. Obviously, she OD'd on something more powerful, but that when I had alcohol poisoning, that's what I feel like I looked like. Like I was green and
you look like at Mi Pueblito.
Yeah, when I was just vomiting and Mi Pueblito.
That was your Mia moment.
Yes, I looked like Mia. If I had the wig then, I would have looked just like her.
Oh man, we messed up.
Yeah, you would remember that. You were there for that. That was bad. I looked dead to the world. So love that scene. Love it. Did I mean we covered a lot of ground in that? Did we miss anything? Are there things that we didn't mention?
That's huge. No, like I honestly, my next favorite scene is the save me. I wrote down as save Mia. You know,
Yeah.
like the combination of the phone call and Lance's reaction, and then Uma Thurman's acting like as waking up from an adrenaline shot from the heart is great. And you know, like I just feel like that scene, like somebody in the chat said, makes him uneasy. It's like it's very realistic. I don't know what giving somebody an adrenaline shot in the heart would be like, but that seems very accurate.
All right. I've got a slightly big question while we're still on this.
Okay.
Let's say she doesn't overdose. Do Mia and Vincent hook up? Because he's in the bathroom and he's fighting it. He's like, you just go out there, you say thanks for the drink, and you leave. And you leave. You just walk out. Thank you for the lovely time. You think they hook up? So, okay, we've got somebody saying yes.
Yeah, I think
100. All right.
I mean, yeah, he's too weak. The heroin's got him weak, man. And he's been drinking too at that point, I'm pretty
He
sure.
had a $5 milkshake too. That'll pump anybody up.
Yeah. He's and let's be honest, man, she's being very she's being very friendly, you know.
Yeah.
She's being very friendly.
I think he gives her a foot massage.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and
Sure.
she tells that goes through that story. Yeah, if they do, he dies after. You're right. But like tells that story, or she tells the story of the Tony Rocky horror, and says like he never did anything. The only time that man ever touched me was when I shook his hand when I met him. Like none of that was true. That story wasn't true at all of him giving her a foot massage and all that stuff. So, maybe if they do hook up, she's pretty good at keeping a secret. And
So
they just,
here's the thing. He was gonna die anyway. Might as well.
I mean, but we don't know that. Or I mean, we know that, but he
Yeah,
doesn't know
you
that.
know.
If they fuck, he leaves town and survives. That's true.
Here's the real question. When somebody's overdosing on heroin like that, can you really just shove a needle in their heart and with adrenaline in it?
Yeah, that is I mean, I wish I knew a doctor.
Damn, that's wild that would be something that someone figured out. It's like, oh yeah, that thing's happening again. Yeah, just like
because that adrenaline doesn't take the heroin out of their system.
Man, does that like just imagine that hole too forever? Like you just got that like
Got some Always Sunny.
needles are bad, bro. Come on.
How is Narcan administered through the nose?
I don't think it's administered through a stabbing in the heart.
That needle was so long.
And at a time too, it looks pretty flimsy. Like so, shout out to John Travolta for nailing that.
He nailed it. Hopefully, he hit her hard.
I have a fun fact about. Do you have that fun fact?
What?
About that shot? That scene?
No, go for it.
Okay,
Tell it.
No. Let's save it.
Okay, we'll save it.
Moving on. What's your next favorite?
The next thing I had was we got to talk about it. Is Butch? Let's talk about the watch scene first.
Yeah, I don't want to skip over it, but we got to talk about the ass watch.
Yeah, the ass watch, the watch, Butch's watch that he got from his dad, who was a POW in Vietnam that died of dysentery, and then Christopher Walken had to shove this uncomfortable piece of metal up his ass and give to him. Like, it's very important. The watch is very important to this story. But shout out to that scene because Christopher Walken just delivers that speech with no nonsense,
wholeheartedly.
Just straight faced.
Yep.
Amazing. I had my watch up my ass for 4 years. I wish I could do a Walken impression.
Oh man, I'm not even gonna try.
It is a Deer Hunter crossover, but this time he makes it home. If anybody hasn't seen Deer Hunter, they need to go watch Deer Hunter. It's about Vietnam vets and POWs and Russian roulette. Definitely watch that movie if you want to be depressed. If you want to be happy, don't watch that movie.
So when we find out about the ass watch, then Butch doesn't lose like he's supposed to, and then he runs off and he goes back to someone that I thought for a long time was very cute, and I still would argue is like the lightness of the movie.
Mhm.
She wants a pot belly and she wants to eat some pancakes. But I have, when this movie has been discussed in the past, and I've talked about how I thought she was cute and the light of the movie, just to lighten it up for just a second. If we're going to be dealing with, people getting fucked in the butt, then maybe we need to talk about pancakes for a second.
Yeah, the blueberry pancakes.
Let's change it up for a moment. And yeah, but she's more annoying this time around than I found her, because I'm sure we've all had this moment when you're like, I've never had an ass watch where somebody put it in their butt to keep it for me, and then I ended up with it. I don't think I own anything that important. Do you have anything? Is there anything as important to you as the ass watch might have been?
I don't know. I don't think I have anything that is currently in my possession that I would say I need, like that I would get so upset about missing out on. I don't think there's anything in my life that I would do that. But yeah.
Yeah, I just can only imagine having something like that and being like, just make sure you grab that one thing, and then that thing gets forgotten. That, man, Bruce does a great job. Bruce does a great job in the reaction, because he's fine, and he like slowly heats up to where he's throwing shit everywhere and leaving, and then he's freaking out in the car. Bruce does it. That's like, I think, my favorite Butch in this movie.
But I think I like almost directly after that, when he's like calmed down a bit and he's like, I didn't tell you that I didn't, like, that was the most important thing.
Circle.
Yeah. He's like, it's my fault. I did this. Like, you didn't know how important that truly was to me. And I should have made an emphasis that you could have forgotten everything except for that watch. I don't know. I kind of liked that part of him calming down. Yeah. Coming full circle.
Yeah. I think that's my favorite Butch in this movie for sure, is like, because when it goes to him in the car and he's just like, how could you forget my father's fucking wife? Like, it's so real.
I've been there.
Oh man, been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the full circle of that scene. And then, that's when we lose Vincent coming off the toilet when he man, this time around, because like, more than ever, I'm paying attention and stuff like that. I was like, he made a lot of fucking noise.
He did make a lot of noise.
He's hitting the toaster. He's like, but he's loud with the key. Like, I'm surprised Vincent. What was he reading? Reading?
He was reading some book about, I think it's about like a French spy or something like that.
Okay. So he must have been in there, like, they show him reading that on the toilet multiple times.
Yeah,
he must be pretty, wrapped up in that to miss the poster more than anything.
The book is called Modesty Blaze. So I think it's like, again, some like spy novels that were written in like the 60s or something like that. So some Pulp Fiction is what he's reading. Interesting, right? But yeah, like, also, what kind of gun does he get shot with there? Is that like an Uzi?
Uzi for sure.
Yeah.
With the biggest silencer I've ever seen. And an extended clip.
And it's interesting that he dies on the toilet, just like Elvis. After
Gets blasted, man.
I think there is a missing scene where he establishes that he's an Elvis person. There is a missing scene in this where like or Mia and Vincent are talking about you're either a Beatles guy or you're an Elvis guy. And John Travolta says he's an Elvis guy. And she mentions it at one point, like, oh, for an Elvis guy, you would like this or whatever. So there is like a callback.
deleted?
Yeah, there's a deleted scene about that. But I do think maybe that's kind of cool that he dies on the toilet like Elvis.
Okay, yeah, maybe an ode.
Yeah, a little ode to him. So who knows? Mac 10? I don't know.
And
I'd have to
something like that.
something like that. I've definitely shot somebody with that on Call of Duty.
SMG. For
Yes,
sure.
it's an SMG.
So,
But
yeah.
the biggest silencer.
Man, that would scare. The fact that you could shoot that thing and it would be quiet is, yeah. I mean, because all he does is give him a little. Bleep, bleep.
Yep, just a little bit.
Oh,
Tarantino released NFTs with cutscenes from the script. It's all explained there. Okay. And Tarantino got in on NFTs.
NFTs. Hashtag NFTs. Is that still a thing?
What, NFTs? I don't think so. I think everybody realized that they were a scam, and we're not going to go over if silencers truly silence. That's a MythBuster thing. Like they don't truly silence it, but they do make it a lot quieter. But
yeah,
you can watch whatever you need on that.
Loud as hell if it was not silenced.
But like the next turn of events that happens after he goes to the apartment, when he's driving, he thinks he's gotten away with it, and then he sees Marcellus right in front of him, and he runs into Marcellus and leads them.
Things get weird.
That's when things get weird, and then we happen upon Zed's brother. I can't Maynard. Maynard's pun.
His brother?
Yeah, apparently they're brothers in the script.
Oh,
But we don't get that information
okay.
in the movie. But yeah, we get Maynard and Zed. He calls Zed to take care of these boys, and we meet the Gimp.
How do we talk about this part? How do we talk? Are we gonna talk about it? Are we gonna bypass it?
I mean, we know what happens here.
Here's
They break free and they end up killing their captors.
Man, because let's talk. Remind me of the guy who plays Marcellus.
Sorry, that's funny. Brothers Gimp. That one got me. Ving Rhames.
Man, I mean, I know they spent a lot on the cast. I have that written down for later, but man, how much you got to get paid? You think that's somebody else's stunt double, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know, man. But it worked out for Ving Rhames in this sense because then he gets to be in Mission Impossible and that whole franchise, and he starts getting these bigger roles because of it because he really wanted this part. So I don't know. But we see that, Butch comes back. Butch has an opportunity to leave him, and Butch chooses to come back and save Marcellus's character. So we do get that. We get a little bit of revenge there, and then Butch and Fabienne get to ride off into the sunset because Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Zed's on the chopper.
It's not a motorcycle. It's a chopper. I'm like, no, it's a fucking motorcycle. Like, I would get out of here.
Go get her some blueberry pancakes.
They didn't have blueberry pancakes, so she had to get buttermilk.
Yeah, go get her some, man. She's still pretty cute, man. She's still pretty cool. I don't know. She's the she's the innocence of the movie.
Yeah. I don't hate her. This is a great movie. I don't think she is the worst thing ever.
Uh-huh.
I mean, she's fine. Okay? She's fine, everybody.
All right.
Not a big fan. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is probably going to be the Bonnie situation.
Bonnie situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have accidentally killing Marvin as my next favorite scene.
Which is a very shocking and kind of comical moment.
To me, that was something I remembered from the first watch. You know, like the first time I saw this movie, I was like, I'm probably not going to forget that happened. The way he's just like turned around talking to him and accidentally shoots him in the face. And then, you know, when they're cleaning up, that we get lots of details about how much skull and stuff is on the ground. How much? Yeah, it's just that'll always stand out to me as, you know, something that would normally make me be like, hey, this is too much, but because it's comical, that's something that Tarantino does, that like he with the super violent stuff. To me, I don't usually like that kind of stuff at all. You know, like enough gore can make me turn something off pretty fast, and that's like to the level where normally like I'm like, man, this is too much, but it's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a comedy to him accidentally shooting him that I will always love.
Yeah, I agree. And the character is played by Phil Lamar, who you may have seen in Mad TV. I think that's what he was in. He also does tons of voices. I think he does voices of people on Futurama, another cartoon show. Samurai Jack was one of them. But yeah, no. But the question is, why did they even take Marvin in the first place? You killed all the other guys. Why do you need to take Marvin?
That's a good question, man. That could, man, help us out, chat, man. Why did they not?
Why do they need to take Marvin?
Maybe he wasn't supposed to be there. I don't know.
I mean, they had every right to kill him because he didn't warn them about the other guy in the bathroom. So,
yeah, I think that is a really good question. Why did they take Marvin?
why did they take Marvin?
Yeah, I think that because they needed to accidentally shoot him in the car.
Yeah, they needed him to do that. You're right. And that's a good point, too. Maybe Jules didn't want to kill him right away after, the divine intervention.
Oh, I like man.
Oh, Alyssa. Yeah, maybe Marvin was their source, like who told them where the apartment was and everything. Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Interesting. I like it. A lot of theories here. I love it. Love the interaction. We've got plot device. Yeah, that's exactly right. And then we get to like what I feel like is one of my most uncomfortable scenes in this movie.
Oh yeah.
It's not a favorite scene, but I do think we need to talk about it. And that is them pulling off and going to Jimmy's house.
Jimmy.
Because he was close by. Jimmy, played by Quentin Tarantino, and giving himself free reign to say the N-word as much as possible and talk about his coffee. Yeah, I wish we got the wolf without Jimmy. I agree.
Yeah, I also don't think, to me, even I know from 94 to now, things have changed drastically, right? Drastically. But I think even for back then, that was pretty excessive. Like,
yeah.
And borderline completely unnecessary. You know, like one time, maybe, like just for the shock of it, I don't know, but like, man, yeah.
And I get why he wrote it that way, because you have Tarantino, who's a fan of all these movies that are from the late 60s and the 70s, that like all of the Pam Grier movies that I've been watching, or other grindhouse movies where people were just kind of putting that in there. Like the white characters were saying the N-word the whole time, and like everybody was just saying all those things. And I think that's why he wrote it that way, or probably some kind of inspiration why he wrote it that way. But yeah, it's just a little unsettling. And
man, in 2024, to see somebody say it with just, even from back then, with just no hesitation, with no, just like with that hateful, enunciation is just it unsettling is a great word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Day does say it in the first episode of
But
Always Sunny in
he's
Philadelphia.
using quotations, okay?
And then he does say it again in the F word
arbiter.
episode. Yeah, the arbiter. But that doesn't give excuses.
No
I don't know.
excuses. No excuses.
It was a different time.
It's a different time.
I don't know. I don't like it though. And then we have to hear about him having the good coffee or whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. It's weird. I think it's only. I think if there was some no-namer in that role, right? If Jimmy is Charlie Day, before Charlie Day's famous, it's not as weird, right? It's the fact that the writer and the director of this movie is playing this role where it's being said so much in such a short time.
Yeah.
Like they throw some no-namer in there and it makes maybe more sense, but it was like I think it made me feel like, did you do this as an outlet?
Yeah.
So you can say it.
I think I agree with Alyssa there. Jimmy is unnecessary. Why not just go straight to Wallace? I think she meant Winston, Mr. Wolf. Anyway, yeah, that's a good point there. I mean, just go straight to him. But we want them in their silly outfits, and we want Tarantino to call them dorks, which is just bad line reading, I think, and just a bad line. When he's hosing him down. I do like that when Winston is hosing him down, he's like, I'm sure both of you have been to county.
It's a good line, man. Mr. Wolf or the Wolf is great. I love him in this movie. Yeah, every time I watch this movie, he's kind of a light too, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a way, there's just he's not a bad dude. Yeah, he's maybe on the bad guy's side, but he's not a bad dude in this movie, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, the whole scene is unnecessary, though Keitel is one of my favorite parts. I agree. I think if we had an entire movie of Mr. Wolf fixing things, just being I could watch that. I could watch a show on that. The Fixer.
The Wolf.
The Wolf. He just fixes things.
Yeah, the Wolf.
I love that.
He's just like cleaning up the mob's messes constantly,
Yeah. And if we didn't have Keitel in this, then we wouldn't have had Bruce Willis in this. So, because Keitel convinced Bruce Willis to be in this movie. So, nice, huh?
Nice.
You meant Marcellus Wallace. Sorry, my bad. Marcellus called the Wolf. Yes.
Yeah. Which is, we'll get to that soon because that's one of my favorite exchanges that I won't quote necessarily, but I want to bring up here shortly. Do you have any more favorite scenes?
No, I think this just goes to the diner, which I think
that's my last favorite is the final diner scene. And this is where, let's be honest, the Mr. Samuel L. Jackson is just at his finest in this movie.
Yeah.
Just crushes this final scene.
Yes, you're absolutely like when he is, we're used to the Ezekiel 25:17 shouting and loud and being crazy. Like we're used to, but he's quiet. He like calms down the situation. He sits him down and says all of his, great monologue about how he's the changed man and all this stuff is so good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love what is the actress's name that plays Honey Bun?
Amanda Plummer.
Man, I really love her in this scene as well. Just the desperate. You can tell like she loves him. Like it switches gears real fast. I'm like, don't hurt it. Like, not to jump ahead, but that's probably like the biggest tearjerker moment for me. Like that's something that makes just like gives me the willies a little bit is just like her being like, no, don't hurt it. Like the desperation in her voice in this scene is it's great. She does that. She really shows off. I mean, I'm gonna mention her again here in a second, but man, I feel like Samuel L. and her really, really carry this final scene to just make this movie a home run.
I love Tim Roth. I do want. I love him as Pumpkin or Ringo, whatever you want to call him. Like, I love. I mean, he's amazing in Reservoir Dogs. He's great in every movie that he's been in. Like, that guy needs to work a lot more, or I need to watch more of his stuff that he has been in. But no, I love him too. But you're right. Like, Amanda Plummer is killing it in this, and in that desperation. I love it when she's up on top of the counter, and John Travolta's out, and she doesn't know who to point the gun at, and she like at one point has her finger pointed at one of them with the gun on the other one. I think that's very funny and like it cool to the stress point. But no, this is I love. Yeah, you get the scene, you get the bad motherfucker wallet, you get hit,
Which like after I saw this movie, I like kind of wanted my whole. I never owned one, but like, what a cool concept to have bad motherfucker on your wallet and to get robbed and be like, hey, grab my wallet that says bad motherfucker on it. Like you've been waiting for this opportunity at that point, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you want to tell everybody that who you are with that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if there's anything else to add to this scene other than just like a great monologue by Samuel L. Jackson in this and calming everybody down. Because like Travolta is second fiddle in this scene, in the diner scene. Like he's not even in it. He's on the toilet for most of it. So
almost takes us to the one of the final shots that's kind of one of my WTF moments where they're tucking pistols into pants that the pistols do not belong in. That's a good way to blow your wee off right there.
No, it's very funny though that they're tucking them into those, like, I can't even remember, Umbro shorts, I think is what they're called. Yeah, Umbros.
Right. Yeah.
No, it's a great way to end the movie.
Yeah, so good.
All right, so we've went through some scenes. We talked about some scenes. Let's see what somebody said in chat. Every time Travolta goes to the toilet, he comes back to dying. Mia ODing, his death, diner standoff. Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
Think about that.
He does go to the toilet a lot in this movie.
He's on the toilet, man. He's hanging. I mean, he's doing a lot of hanging out. You know?
He's just hanging. He wants to get through his book. Heroin shit's getting everyone killed. All right. Who's your favorite character in this movie? And is there a scene stealer?
My favorite character, and who I would call the scene stealer because of her amount of time and the total of the movie, is Mia.
Okay.
And I just think, as I thought about the recast, I think there's some people that could redo it, but man, she's just so wonderful. Like she's so great as Mia in this movie. I think really the overdose scene is so unsettling and so uncomfortable because she does it so well.
Yeah. Well, I'm boring. I went with Jules. He's absolutely this is like Samuel L. is just killing it. But no, Jules is just such a cool character in this.
Yeah.
Like he even like is rocking a Jerry curl and like he's still so fucking cool and everything he says is so cool. I don't know. I just love him. Shout out to Jody though for the whole scene, like the wife of Lance and the overdose scene. Like she's going nuts. She has a right to be going nuts, but man, is she great in that scene. I love her.
The shit in her face.
Yeah. That's my wife.
That's my wife.
No, I liked her a lot. I thought, and she delivers, and for that part too, I love Lance. Like I thought Eric Stoltz is great and
Yeah.
steals a lot of that too.
Yeah, in our discussion, I've kind of realized that. I don't know that that hit me beforehand, but like in our discussion, every time we've talked about a scene with him in it, he was so good. You know, he didn't think about that.
Yeah. All right, some quotes that really shine. We're not going to cover all the quotes. I'm here to tell everybody. I'm sorry. If you want to put your favorite quote in the chat, please do so. But I'm guaranteed we will miss something.
Yeah, I tried to really. I knew this was gonna. I love this movie, and so I knew this was gonna be a long chat. I tried to really, and especially after I saw how many scenes I had written down that just have to be mentioned. Because they're either iconic or important to the entire movie. Try to really limit my quotes to my true favorites.
Yeah.
So, what's your first favorite quote?
My favorite interaction, or not my favorite interaction, but one of my first. It's in the apartment scene, and when Jules is yelling at Brett, and he's saying like, "What does Marcellus Wallace look like?" And he goes into, "Does he look like a bitch?"
Yeah.
And Brett goes, "No." Then why are you trying to fuck him like a bitch, Brett? I love that.
That was one that I had written down that I ended up just to try to limit it, took out. But I love that part just because the build of it, like what does he look like? And then Brett, like, so
he's black.
Hesitantly, he's black. He's bald.
Does he
look like a bitch? The build with Samuel L. there to screaming is wonderful. My first is from Jules as well. Sewer rat might taste like pumpkin pie, but I'd never know because I wouldn't eat the filthy motherfucker. And there's more to that quote. I tried to even like take the highlights of the quote itself. But yeah, Jules.
Let's see here. Jules has all my like a bunch of my favorite lines. He also has the Royale, like when that whole Royale with cheese discussion, it's good there. I like when he tells him, he's like, I didn't go, or he's like, it's just, they just call it Le Big Mac or whatever. And I loved Samuel after he goes, Le Big Mac. Like, but then they say like, well, what do they call a Whopper? He says, I don't know. I didn't go to Burger King. And then the discussion ends right there. I don't know. I didn't go to Burger King.
Yeah. I love Jules saying, if my answers frighten you, then you should cease asking scary questions.
Yeah. It's badass.
I love that one.
I like when they're talking about the foot massage, and he's like, John Travolta's trying to excuse the fact that Tony Rocky Horror got thrown off a window or off of a building for giving her a foot massage. And he says, stop right there. Eating a bitch out and giving a bitch a foot massage ain't even the same fucking thing. It's not even the same fucking ballpark either.
Man, that exchange is so good. It's such a good, like, realistic argument where he's like, like, would you give your mom a foot, or would you give a guy a foot massage? Like the way it develops.
And I love it because he's just ribbing him at that point. He's like, you're starting to piss me off.
Yeah. They're just trying to kill time. So they're just shooting.
I love what he's saying. He's like, touching your wife's feet and sticking your tongue in her holiest of holies ain't the same fucking ballpark. It ain't the same league. It ain't even the same fucking sport.
Yep. Man, we already mentioned one of my favorites. I
got to stab her 3 times.
So I got to stab her 3 times. That's what I think. This watch more than ever like made me laugh out loud.
Yeah,
when he said that. Yeah, I paused the movie and was like, I got to write that down as one of my favorites.
Now, the next few that I have aren't like classic ones or anything, but they're just one-offs lines. After they get done cleaning up the car and everything, they're like, wow, it doesn't even look like the same car. And the wolf says, well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet.
I've got that one written. He says, "I can't believe this is the same car." The wolf. Let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet, man. I love that. That made me laugh really hard. I love when Mia says, "That's when you found somebody special." Where you can just shut the fuck up for a minute and comfortably enjoy the silence.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good line. That's a great line.
Yeah, when they're back at the diner. That's it, man. That one stood out to me as well.
Fabienne has a great line, which she's my favorite. Any time of the day is a good time for pie.
Yeah. Isn't there
that's a mantra.
There's I feel like there's like Family Guy or something did a song about pie.
I like when Marcellus is talking about pride. He says, the night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. That's pride fucking with you. Fuck pride. Pride only hurts. It never helps. Now, he gets that recited back to him when he's getting the shit kicked out of him by Butch, but yeah, that was pretty dope.
Yeah, the exchange, I won't read out the quote, but it's my last thing I have written down for quotes is when Jules calls Marcellus from Jimmy's house. And it starts with, "I don't want to hear no motherfucking ifs. All I want to hear from your ass is, you ain't got no problem, Jules. I'm on the motherfucker." And it goes on. And then Marcellus fires back. And then he says something about the wolf. And even the way Samuel L. responds to that is one of my, like, that exchange made me laugh hard this time.
Yeah. He just repeats everything that he says right back to him. He's like, "I'm on that motherfucker." And like,
Yeah.
it's so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is Family Guy with the song, the Snow White. It's a wonderful day for pie.
There is a line that I liked this time around. I never caught before. I don't think it's when Butch is in the. This is the last one I have. I know these aren't the best ones, but when Butch is in the cab and he's talking to Villalobos, and she says, "Butch, like, what's that mean?" And he says, "I'm American, honey. Our names don't mean shit." And I was like, "Yeah, our names don't mean shit."
My
Right.
we got the Bible names.
I'm just me.
I mean, your name has it. Where'd Cody come from?
I think it means soft pillow.
Cody does?
Yeah. I mean, it's my body type too. All right, let's talk about the biggest laugh, cry, scare, or thrills. If you have them, that's great. If not, then that's fine too. But what do you have? Anything that made you laugh out loud, or
Bunny at the end, like, don't hurt him. That definitely almost like made the eyes water up a little bit. I don't know. Did I remember in the past in seeing this, just like that desperation and her voice is real. It's so good. And then I would say, like, the biggest scare or thrill, something that has haunted me my entire life, is the scene with Zed in the basement. And that the fact that, like, somebody in a police officer uniform could do something like that to me, even from the early days of college. So, yeah, Zed. I'm glad Zed's dead, man.
Zed's dead, baby. It is like maybe 2 seconds on the screen, but it gets me every time, and it makes me laugh every time. And it is the look on Jodie's face as they are getting ready to do the shot. She just looks so excited to see what's about to happen. And it is seriously, she's only on there for like 2 seconds. And she's just like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, that gets me every time. And then, of course, blowing Marvin's head off makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And there's probably something about that. I don't know. But
they did a great, like, I feel like that's exactly how much blood there would be if you shot someone's head off in an enclosed situation. Like, immediately there would just be blood everywhere. And they do such a, every time I see this movie, it's like a shocking amount of blood everywhere. You know?
It's weird too, because then you see like little bits that are in like in Jules's hair in his Jerry curl, and oh yeah, don't love that.
Yeah.
All right, I mean, this movie is one ridiculous moment after another, but what do you think's the most what the fuck ridiculous moment?
Getting the gimp out of the box, man. Like that is talking about a whole nother story that needs to be told. First of all, how long have you been in there, man?
He's sleeping. Well, you guess you better wake him up.
Yeah, like for how long have you been in there in that leather suit? And then you get out and you don't seem to be like, get me out of here. You know, you're a part of this.
Yeah, I think he's just accepted his fate at that point.
I mean, that some people may. I want people to.
And yes, that is the other question. Why do they get him out?
Yeah,
there's no point to getting him out other than to be like, hey, I've got this weird dude in a leather suit here that's just gonna watch you.
Intimidation.
Yeah, this is what's going to happen to you. I don't know. Like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, maybe they're hoping that they'll just get another gimp out of it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I had Tarantino as Jimmy as just like most ridiculous because his his monologue that he goes off on, and I just don't care. I don't care if Bonnie comes home. I want Bonnie to divorce him.
Yeah.
So
I would say that scene alone is enough on this watch to bring down my opinion of this movie significantly. Like that one scene alone is so cringy. Like, you know the rape scene is coming if you've seen this movie before, and that's horrifying enough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it doesn't need to be followed with an excessive use of the N-word by the person who made the movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, yeah.
All right. Anybody else? If you have any more what the fuck moments or something like that, like please put them in the chat. Follow along, play along with us. All right. What's your favorite music moment of this?
I know that most people are probably going to go with the dance with Travolta and Uma Thurman, but it's not that for me. It's when Honey Bunny hits him with, if any of you fucking pricks move, I'll execute every motherfucking last one of you. And then Dick Dale, Miserlou. Like, man, the way she hits, like, comes out of that stall with that, and then it hits black screen and goes, man.
Yeah, the music. This is a great soundtrack. Of the part I think is the most iconic is obviously the dance scene. Chuck Berry's "You Never Can Tell." I had a separate one as well. Giving a shout out to is "Son of a Preacher Man" that is playing whenever Travolta comes over to Mia's house. Yeah, and he's kind of like, again, still high on heroin and just like trying to figure out his way around the house. You get the introduction of Mia as she comes in, like you see her feet because he's a feet guy and all this stuff. But yeah, "Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon" was pretty great. It was good one. I'm trying to think of the other. "Jungle Boogie" is also after Miserlou at the beginning. So
yeah, great soundtrack.
Yeah, great soundtrack. I think
man, the way that music follows that quote is I honestly, when I was watching it for the pod or the stream, like I was like, that's gotta be my favorite. Like, unless I'm gonna pay attention more than ever to the rest of the music, but man, what a perfect song to follow that quote. Yeah.
It's a great little needle drop there to go straight into it. I love that. Yeah. Okay. What is next here? We've got fun game for you to play here. We'll do a fuck, marry, kill. We haven't done one of these in a while. And
I
don't worry, I'm not treating you bad. Sometimes I usually mess with my people, but no, I'm not treating you bad.
Okay.
Mia, Fabian, and Honey Bunny.
Fabian and Honey Bunny. Man.
Feel free to play along in chat as well.
I think I kill Honey Bunny. I think I marry. Who is Fat? You said
That's Butch's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, marry Fabian and feed her blueberry pancakes and let her have a pot belly, and then you know what with old cokehead Mia.
We got some different opinions in the chat.
Marry Honey Bunny?
I think that's where I stand. And for the reason that Spencer lists here, she's ride or die, man. And like honestly, kill Mia.
What is with all this marry Honey Bunny?
And kill Mia. I agree. I think I agree with his. She's a drug addict, man. She's ODing over here.
So you're okay. Kill. Why kill Mia? Are you like Uma Thurman's not?
No, nobody is saying that they're not they're not attractive or any of these things.
Honey Bunny, get the fuck out of here with this shit.
She seems like she loves hard, man.
She is unhinged. Of the three, she is the one I ain't trying to deal with. Fuck her.
Mia probably got disease.
That's why it's just you go for the one time with Mia, and man, what is this hate with Fabian? Like, I don't understand it.
I think she's
I've been influenced by it. I've loved her forever. There's so much hate for this woman and her wanting to have a pot belly. She doesn't do anything.
Well, that's the reason. She's a plot device.
Honey Bunny will kill you. She's gonna kill you.
If she loves me, she's not gonna kill me.
Fucking thing.
You're so
She's gonna kill you in your sleep. She's gonna smother all of you fuckers.
I think Mia can say one thing and then Marcellus is gonna kill you. So
I'm gonna kill Marcellus and then it was just the one time with Mia. And then I'm just gonna run off with Fabian like Butch.
I want a little pot belly.
I want a pot.
She says, I want a pot. He's like, you want to smoke some pot? She's like, no, I want a pot belly.
How do you not marry that? How do you not marry that cuteness? Fucking, I cannot believe this shit with Mary. I wish I could see the chat.
I wish I could do a poll. If I become I think if I can become like a partner or whatever, or affiliate or whatever, I can start doing polls in the chats.
Okay. Let's backtrack here for a second, Cody. If we just were saying, let's like forget about who they are in the movie at all, right? Who they
if we
are.
were doing actresses,
if you were just take the character out of it and you put Uma Thurman and then whoever plays Fabian and whoever plays Honey Bunny.
Yeah.
Who to you is the most attractive?
I mean, it's probably between. I don't know. I think Uma Thurman is the most attractive to me.
Okay, who's number 2?
Fabian.
So why would you marry the ugliest one?
Because she's ride or die, man. It ain't always about looks, man. They got to have personality too. And if you got a shitty personality, then you're uglier than everybody. And that's a lesson.
Okay.
This was not supposed to be. This was not supposed to be.
Only. Like they don't matter. Okay, all
I'm
right.
not saying that
Everybody
looks don't
pretended.
matter.
Okay,
I'm just saying
everybody
it's.
pretend like looks don't matter.
Oh my God, you're getting really upset over a very minor
You
part of
picked
it.
the craziest, ugliest. Everybody said, I'm going to marry the ugliest, craziest one.
I don't think she's that ugly at all.
Compared to the other two?
I don't think she's that bad,
She
man.
looks like a troll compared to the other two.
I'm dying. You took this so much. She has a career.
Well, yeah,
That's
what else
true.
has she been in? What else has she been in?
Her dad is Christopher Plummer, who's the Von Trapp husband. Amanda Plummer's been in a lot of stuff.
Okay.
She
Okay. Continue on. Whatever.
You got really upset about this one.
Because everybody said they were going to marry her.
Well, if everybody says it,
other
then
person-
maybe there's a reason.
No. Because they're not thinking it through. You'll pay the troll toll. Are
Oh
you?
my God.
I'm on Google Images right now. I wish I could put them in the chat. This is ridiculous.
She's also like 60 something now. Like
I'm
people
looking
are.
at young pictures of her.
Oh my gosh. You can have like this means, yeah. Alyssa's right. That she's all yours. You got her to
marry Uma Thurman. I didn't even see that. It was all I'm gonna marry Honey Bunny. Everybody's just trying to die in their sleep. Whatever.
if she is not gonna kill Tim Roth, she is not gonna kill Pumpkin,
Nobody in this chat over here has the gunslinging ability of Tim Roth, and which means that all these people and me would just die in their sleep. That's ridiculous to marry Honey Bunny. That's just absurd. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Okay, good. Let's
Moving on.
Who gave the best performance?
Samuel L. Jackson did.
Samuel L. Jackson did. You're right. It's hands down.
I don't know if it's because we both came from the church, the Bible, the reading of a scripture, had maybe extra power. And so like the way he reads that scripture, that's the most iconic part of the movie forever to me, other than the butt stuff. But that also scarred me. But so the scripture didn't scar me. The other stuff did. Yeah. Because I was like, man, the police, they're going to be after me. But anyway. Yeah, what about you? You say Samuel?
I said Samuel L. Jackson. He's my guy.
Oh,
that is not from the part of it's from the Bible. Not all of it is from the Bible, though. He's right.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I think like the first part of it is not from. It's just completely made up, and then the back, like the last few sentences of it, are from the Bible.
Who reads Ezekiel? That's not one of the important ones, right?
That's not the important ones, right, guys? All right, if we had to do a recast of this movie, 1994, we could do that, or a 2024 recast. Who would you cast in this movie?
I kind of skipped the 1994 recast because of I didn't know if you were going to have the list that I have. I feel like those are my 94 recast. We talked about some of them. For Vincent, you've got Alec Baldwin, Gary Oldman, Michael Keaton. Denzel was on the list.
That would have been interesting. For Vincent.
For Jules, you've got no rappers on the list. Eddie Murphy.
I'm interested.
Yeah,
and seeing Eddie Murphy in that.
I thought that was wild. I thought Sean Penn, Nick Cage, Johnny Depp for Butch.
Now, I said, and I did see something about Mickey Rourke being up for this role, and I thought Mickey Rourke at that time in his life might have been a good
Yeah,
Butch.
yeah. I thought the list was pretty cool for the Wolf, Mr. Wolf, because Sam Jackson was on that list.
Yeah.
Alec
John
Baldwin,
Travolta's on that list too.
yeah, Alec Baldwin, Michael Keaton again, Danny DeVito.
Pacino's on here.
Yeah, I mean Christopher Walken's on that list as well. Yeah, so that to me was I don't know that definitely. I'm not great with the recast like we've talked about before, but
Yeah.
I thought that list really nailed it on who could be good in a '94 recast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and if you want to see the list, you just Google it and just put in like Pulp Fiction or Tarantino handwritten list for whatever, but
Fiction
you should be able to find it.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting and kind of cool to look back on. For 2024, did you do any?
David Duke for Jimmy.
That's very funny. That's
ridiculous. Man, yeah, I got 2024 recast for sure. I would love to see Emma Stone as Mia. I think Margot Robbie could do it as well.
I like the Emma Stone. When you told me that, I like that. I thought she could pull it off.
Yeah, because I was curious. I was like, I don't know if I'm just thinking that because we just watched Poor Things and she's obviously really good in that. And so I think she can do anything. But yeah, Margot Robbie, I think could be cool in it as well. I've got Christopher Waltz or Bryan Cranston as Mr. Wolf.
I had him. That was the one I had the most trouble with, and so I had 4 names written down. I was like, Christoph Waltz would be obviously Winston Wolf.
I've got Shaq as Marcel. Man, I think he could do a really good job of just being a giant, intimidating. Like that's what Marcellus was to me, like when I was younger, and Shaq's just that big guy with a deep voice. Like that's who comes to mind. Shaq with his debut as in the 2024 version of Pulp Fiction. Channing Tatum as Butch, or maybe John Cena.
Okay,
I feel like John Cena could do it as well because he's got to do the boxing, so he's super fit already. Ryan Gosling or Adam Driver as Vincent.
I like Adam Driver. That could have been that's a good one.
And then I had to look up his name because Lakeith Stanfield as Jules.
I'll put him in everything.
Yeah, because he's just like, he's incredible, and I think he could do it. I think he could do like the scripture reading and be intimidating as well.
Yeah.
So
I went with because I was kind of going with like similar vibes to the 1994. I went with somebody that probably needs a little bit of a revitalization in their career, like John Travolta at this time was not in anything, and yes, I have met Lakeith Stanfield. It's not a big deal. Josh Hartnett, I felt like could be Vincent Vega. I was like, let's bring this guy back. He showed up in Oppenheimer, and I was like, hey, we need more Hartnett in our life. So bring him back, put him as Vincent Vega. Brian Tyree Henry for Jules. I thought he'd be interesting in that. Lady Gaga as Mia.
Ooh.
Pretty interesting there.
Okay. I like
Tom Hardy I had as like Butch, but very similar, kind of like a brawler.
Yeah.
Idris Elba as Marcellus. I struggled with Marcellus. That one's not my favorite, but he has got a very deep voice and is very scary. Can be very scary. Have you seen him in Jungle Book? He's Shere Khan. That's a scary tiger.
He could even do Jules.
He could do Jules. You're right. And then for Winston Wolf, I didn't cast anybody else, but I said either Peter Dinklage
Okay. Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen, Christoph Waltz, or John Hamm would be fun as Winston Wolfe.
Man, John Hamm. I like the idea of Peter Dinklage or Danny DeVito for some reason. Like just
Yeah.
a small person there to solve big problems, you know?
That's on his card, man. He's like, I'm a small person that solves big problems.
Man, Danny DeVito or Peter Dinklage. Either way, I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right, let's move into some of the fun facts. If you guys have anything for recasting, please feel free to put those in the chat. But we'll go to some fun facts. Now, I'll start real quick. Body count is a little bit of a dispute on the internet. Most people would say that there are 7 deaths in this film. Others say 9, and I've seen as high as 15. So 7 is the one that I've seen consistently. But there's some like dispute over whether the girl that gets shot by Marcellus in the street dies, and there's a dispute over whether the Gimp dies because he's left hanging from that chain. But I don't know if he's hanging
So
from his
7
neck.
without those 2?
7 without those 2.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
I think if I'm the Gimp, I'm faking it, you know. I'm loving it.
Yeah. I mean, he
Get
just
shot.
got punched.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
He loves that shit.
All right. What's some of the research that you did?
I got let's see here. I got 265 F words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what I don't know what the highest is.
The South Park guys kind of went after that, didn't they?
Wolf of Wall Street has 569.
That's true. That was.
That's the most popular one I see here.
But this was enough. It was enough that I was curious about it and went and looked because it felt like a lot.
It's 4 less than Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
So not even his highest count.
I've also found out that in my looking that Honey Bunny was a real rabbit's name.
Okay.
There was like one of the writers that had a rabbit that Tarantino had to take care of, named Honey Bunny, and that's why the character got named Honey Bunny.
So there we go.
Real rabbit.
It's a real rabbit. We already kind of jumped on some of these. The passage from the Bible is not a real passage from the Bible. Like somebody said, part of it is from a samurai film that Tarantino liked. So shut up and chat. I thought this was interesting. Daniel Day-Lewis wanted the role of Vincent Vega, but Quentin Tarantino turned him down for John Travolta.
Damn.
So Mr. I'm the best actor in the world, Daniel Day-Lewis wanted to be in this film, and Tarantino was like, nah, well, I'm good.
He knew what he was after, apparently.
What an interesting movie this would be with Daniel Day-Lewis in it.
Yeah, he's not as cool. I think
Yeah.
John Travolta you said it early on that John Travolta did a good job of being cool. You know?
We're 3 Fonzies.
You said that the budget for this movie was $8.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
But I read that maybe it was cast and crew. That after the movie came out, it took them a week to have the money to pay $8.5 million out for all the salaries for the cast and crew.
Oh, I don't know.
So
I had also that the largest chunk of the budget went to creating the Jack Rabbit Slim set, which was $150,000.
ooh, okay. Yeah. And then the cast, I think the cast, I mean, they probably had to pay, Bruce was big at the time, right?
Mm-hmm. I think he got like 500. I think he was the 0.5 on that 8.5 million.
Yeah.
So I think he would made 500,000.
Makes sense.
For like 8 days of shooting or 18 days of like he had the least amount of time.
Had to wear that bloody shirt though, man.
Whatever.
A lot of the clocks are set on 420, just like in a lot of Tarantino movies, in the pawn shop. And the coolest thing I found out that I wanted to bring back up is the
stabbing.
You know how they did this?
How?
Reverse with a dummy.
Oh,
In there, and he goes backwards.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I read that, and I thought that was super cool.
My last bit of trivia is probably just for me.
It's for me too.
It's for me. No, it's for me. Trudy, who was the girl at the drug dealer's at Lance's house that's in the background smoking pot. She has like one line. Anyway, her name's Brana Gallagher, and she could be seen wearing a T-shirt of Irish rock band The Frames. She had previously appeared in one of my favorite movies, The Commitments, with Glenn Hansard, who is the lead singer of The Frames. And because they were friends, she promised that she would wear his band's T-shirt in the movie if she got it. So she's wearing The Frames for Glenn Hansard in it.
From
Once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little fun fact for me.
It's not just for you.
It's just for me because I love The Commitments so much. Okay. All right. Any other facts?
No, that's all I had.
All right, now it's time. I'm not even gonna do. I'm not gonna do the big question intro, even though I know a lot of you will do it. But we're gonna do the big question here, and the big question is, what's in the briefcase? What's in the briefcase?
What's in the briefcase? I think that it's full of money.
You think it's just full of money?
I think it's full of money.
Interesting. I went down a little dive on the internet about how it's a. My favorite was that it's somebody's soul.
Somebody's soul.
Yeah, that it's Marcellus's soul, and that and none of this is true, by the way. But I like this theory, and that the Band-Aid that's on the back of his neck that's how his soul is removed, and he made a deal with the devil, and that's how his soul was removed, and that they had gotten his soul back from the devil, and that's why it was in there and so important. I don't know. I really liked that theory of it. I thought that was cool and fun.
No wonder Brett was trying to steal it.
Look at the big brains on bread.
Big brains on bread.
But I like that. I'd like to think it's just a light bulb.
A light bulb?
Yeah. That's all it was, though. I'm pretty sure. It's just a yellow light bulb.
I think everybody sees a fat stack of money as gold, and like the reflection, like the thing that in my mind would give off that kind of illumination, not physically, but to most people is just a big old fat stack of money.
I just want to know why Tim Roth would say, "Is that what I think it is?"
Oh, that's a good point, though. Yeah, that pokes a hole. I haven't thought about this one a whole lot. I didn't want to cheat either. You know, I thought about going to the internet and being like, "What's in the briefcase? What's in the box?"
What would be cool though? Like, and just so everybody knows, there's nothing like there. It is never told what is in the briefcase. He says it's beautiful. But nobody ever like it. It's supposed to be that way. It really doesn't do anything for the plot other than that the briefcase is the one thing he can't leave without. But the soul theory was always the one that I really liked.
Heard that. I like that.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But in reality, the reason that Ving Rhames has that Band-Aid on the back of it is because he's got a nasty scar there, for, like keloids. And so he's covering it up.
See it in was it Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah,
there's a couple of shots where you can see that because they use it to the advantage of Dawn of the Dead.
So that's why it's covered up in the movie. But I thought it was so kind of cool. That he's like Nelly with the Band-Aid on his face.
Man. I definitely, when I got some acne, I thought I could wear a Band-Aid on my face a couple days at school and like went in and somebody like fried me immediately, and so I just took it off.
Yeah, look, if you look it up in Google, it's a pretty nasty scar. Like you said, you see it in Dawn of the Dead. It's pretty rough.
They were like, we can use this here.
All right, we got arc reactor, we got the Tesseract. These are all not serious. Nobody's coming up with anything. We said we liked the Soul Theory. I don't know.
And I brought this up to you, and I racked
You
my
didn't.
brain, and I really, like,
Coming up short.
yeah, coming up short on this one.
That's okay, man.
I'm gonna have to scour the internet. And we'll
I
find
think it's because Fuck Mary Kill ruined you for the rest of this.
trust anyone anymore.
All right, let's do some rankings or ratings. If you had to give this a rewatchability rating out of 1 to 5, what did you give it?
I give this a 4 out of 5,
Nice.
which I think is different than when we did the Tarantino list together. I think I gave this a 5 out of 5 back then. The rape scene and the Tarantino scene were so unnecessary that what was shown versus like, man, what's horrifying is like you can hear a lot.
I'm sorry.
You can hear a lot in the pawn shop basement, which is horrifying by itself. And I think that was enough, as well as Tarantino's part was just like stupid enough this time around that I think it lost a star for me.
Yeah.
And because of all the hate that Fabian gets, not Fabian, whatever. I've been influenced because I get hate from every direction. I've always liked her, and I gotta put up a shield here.
No, I give this movie a Fabian 5. No.
5 out of 5?
I give it on the rewatchability rating. I give it a 4 out of 5. I think I'm with you there. There are some parts of this that I'm like, if it's on this scene, I'm not really like interested in it, or I'll, I can't wait till it gets to this scene. This is much better, and so I agree with you there.
It's a 3 out of 5 for me because I feel like okay. Here's something I wanted to say about the rewatchability. First 2-3 times, much higher.
Yeah.
Right. I think there's almost the first time you see it, there's almost an immediate want to watch it again just to kind of put it back together. Mm-hmm. Now that it's scrambled and not linear, and watch it again to be like, oh, okay. Now the same thing happened to me with Eternal Sunshine. I wanted to watch it again immediately. So initial rewatchability, 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
for me. But after you've seen it, you've put it together. You don't want to see some of it, and then your friends hate on one of your favorite characters for years and years and years and years. Sometimes it loses a star, and I would say rewatchability is a 3 as a star below that, only because I've seen it so many times at this point.
Yeah. My overall, I gave it a 5 out of 5.
And Honey Bunny is so bad and so unmarriable.
You loved Honey Bunny at the beginning of this. You were talking about her being your scene stealer. I just want everybody to remember that. 2 hours ago, you said scene stealer.
Not good enough to marry. Good enough to whatever.
I think Natalia should dress up as Honey Bunny, and you should go as Pumpkin for Halloween. I think that would be a cute and amazing.
I wish all of you the same fate as Bonnie and Clyde.
Wow. All right. I gave it a 5 out of 5 for
rewatchability.
No, 4 out of 5 for the rewatchability.
5 out of 5.
5 out of 5 overall. I think it's a 5 out of 5 movie.
Yeah, you take out the.
I'm not taking anything out. It's 5 out of 5.
Even with all the excessive N-word use,
Yeah, it's part of it.
I feel like that, 100%.
She's gonna go as Honey Bunny for Halloween.
She couldn't make herself that unattractive.
Oh, that's kind of sweet. You're right.
I'm gonna have to beat her up for.
Don't say that. All right, let's move on here. Like a
Nobody
fine,
knows the N-word, Spencer.
no,
Nobody.
nobody. Like a fine wine and dish. If you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose? Yes, I skipped a question, but it's because we've already been saying the negative things about this movie.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs for sure.
Okay.
Because they're just meant to be together,
Yeah.
Lots of the same casts, similar vibes. Tarantino again, and you get a little bit more Steve Buscemi.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Reservoir Dogs is when I thought about what I would like to watch right after that. Reservoir Dogs, because it's almost like Harvey's character. They could be, or even Tarantino's character. They could be in the same universe.
Oh yeah.
Is it Steve Buscemi that's being a bitch about tipping at the beginning of Reservoir
Yes.
Dogs? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, and then Tarantino dies fast, so
Yes.
this could be the same universe, man.
Just put them together.
Yeah.
I like it. Any others that you would pair?
Off the top of my head, no.
That's okay. I listed out 3 just because I'm a psychopath. I said Snatch would be a good one to go along with this.
Man, great choice.
Under the Silver Lake, which is kind of a crazy movie. If you've never seen it, Andrew Garfield. It's kind of crazy, but I recommend it. And then 7 Psychopaths. A great movie, very funny, has that like comedy that kind of Snatch and Pulp Fiction has as well, and it's also
Snatch
a crime movie.
Great pairing. I completely agree with that. I haven't seen the other 2. I'll have to check them out.
Check those out. Well, Stephen, thank you. We knew this was going to be a long one. I anticipated it. It's 2 hours, which is fine.
That's cool. I love you.
We're still under the amount of time that this movie, how long this movie is. So that's fine by me. So thank you. If have you watched anything recently that you'd like to recommend to people?
I've seen a few things. Nothing that I'm one of the 7 psychopaths. Okay. Or you're one of the 7 psychopaths? Is it you or is it me?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll never know. Maybe both of us. There are 7 of them.
I haven't seen. I've watched a few things. Nothing that I loved, other than a couple TV series. I really like the new season of Somebody Feed Phil. It's great. The guy who created Everybody Loves Raymond travels around and eats food. It's just turn your brain off, watch a funny guy eat food for a while. And then Blown Away, a glass blowing competition, also on Netflix, was really good this season as well. I've seen Poor Things and Spaceman. Blackberry was good. Good, not great. But yeah, what about you? You see anything really good?
A couple movies. I have not watched as many as I should be watching, but speaking of Tarantino, he used to call his production company Rolling Thunder Productions, and it's based on this movie called Rolling Thunder, which I've watched recently. It's a 70s movie about a Vietnam vet that comes back home after being a POW, and it's kind of a revenge movie, kind of in the same vein that Tarantino does. A lot of his movies are revenge movies. And then I watched this French movie called Petite Maman, which deals a lot with grief and through the eyes of a child. It's very, it's like an hour and 17 minutes long. So that should be motivation for anybody that wants to watch it. But it's a pretty good movie about
This week,
mothers and daughters and grief, and it's good. What did you say?
I said, what's on Tubi this week?
Tubi was Rolling Thunder. That's what Rolling Thunder came from. So
shout out Tubi, sponsor.
Shout out Tubi. All yours were Netflix. I'm repping Tubi.
Tubi. I still need to See what's on there, I guess.
Well,
It's such a long list elsewhere.
next week, our movie, we're finishing up the Best Picture nominees from 1994 with the movie Quiz Show, I believe directed by Robert Redford. Check that out. It's currently streaming only on Hoopla or video on demand. So we'll be doing that stream next Sunday at 5 p.m. Also, don't forget this Wednesday, we're doing a special episode, probably about an hour at 6 p.m. this Wednesday, where we're going to talk about movies where kids hate their parents. We're talking about North. We're talking about Trading Mom, Getting Even with Dad, and Camp Nowhere. So if you've seen any of those, come in, join us, talk with us. If you want to get in the conversation, join our Discord. You should be able to get in there or through the links on Twitch, and just join all the links that you can. We communicate. So other than that, oh wait, we're not streaming on Easter. I forgot it's Easter. Maybe we will. That depends on the guest. We'll see. Anyway, I'll update everybody and let them know, but be on the lookout for those notifications when we do go live. So thank you, Steven. Thank you, chat. You've been lively today. That was Pulp Fiction here on 52/1994. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.